And we're back for part two.
Hello, hello.
Probably should have given you a chance to go get water or something. So it was
It's
literally
okay.
off for 10 seconds.
It's okay.
Um,
Still new to it.
so,
I'm
dude,
getting
we're
used to it.
walking. So we're walking by. So it's at Tucson Comic Con this year, which is what, like 3 weeks ago.
Something like that.
So we're walking through. We just checked out. They had someone there had a complete Ecto one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was good.
That's cool.
And he kept bumping the horn, the
Oh, I was gonna
sirens
say,
and
does
stuff.
it have the siren?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
It had the full pack rack
All the
on
way
top,
through.
dude. It was complete
That's
car.
awesome. That's cool.
Um,
What a daily that would be.
dude, that would be so sick. Terrible gas mileage,
yeah.
but everyone would
Yeah.
want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And they were like, he was letting people sit in it. You could set off the siren. You could hang out in it. Like it wasn't just like a hey, stay the hell behind the rope.
Yeah.
No, they were very friendly.
Let you
Like,
touch it.
hey,
yeah.
I wish I knew the name of the people who had it.
Did it have the gunner seat?
No, it's from the original.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't it
Not
wasn't
the
with
gunner
all
seat
that.
one. Okay.
So I mean, I know in the movies that was the original with like additions.
Yeah.
But it didn't have that.
Okay.
But they were like super like, hey man, you want to come sit in it? Like you want to take like.
That's awesome.
I was like, I couldn't bring myself to get in it.
I know my mom was all
Like,
about it.
She didn't get in it either.
Oh, she didn't get in there?
No, I think it was too much like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like
1,000-yard stare.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is amazing, and I can't bring myself to get in it
Yeah.
and fuck up your car.
Yeah.
Not that. Oh, dang it, I cussed. So
I forgive you.
yeah, I know. So I'm gonna have to edit it though because it's within the first couple of minutes of the video. Hopefully YouTube never picks it up. I'm still a small channel, it doesn't matter. So like I was like, this is too big a deal. Like I couldn't just in the moment didn't bring myself to get in the car.
Yeah.
But I admired it. And so we get done checking that out and we're walking back down like the back walkway. And Tucson Roller Derby was there.
Oh, very cool.
So we stopped and talked to them, but it was two new people.
Okay.
Like I think all the people we know are done and gone
Yeah.
because they're still not bouting yet.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to come back.
Yeah.
But
From
they're-
the pandemic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, but they're still not bouting. So we stop in and they had Haters jersey hanging behind them.
Oh, very cool.
So I was like, should I steal Haters jersey? And I'm saying it loud so they can hear me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm gonna steal Haters jersey. And she starts laughing and they were like, yeah, Mad Hatter. Yeah, she's on the. I'm like, no, it's Hater. It's
Yeah.
Mad Hater. And they're like, oh, I was like, yeah, well, no, we know her. Like, she's a good friend of ours. Like, yeah, I was like, no, she was on TRD for like ever. Like,
Yeah.
and she was like, yeah, like she goes, you guys are, and they were FTW. She was like, no, I was FTW. Like, what? She's like, yeah, I was FTW forever.
Yeah.
Like, and they had some of the old school posters on the wall
That's
too,
awesome.
and you could buy the posters. And she's like, I just started laughing. I was like, we have all those. And she goes, and the lady's like, what? I was like, no, I have literally every one of those. We have at home. And she's like, who the hell are you people? And I was like, she used to teach tramps. Like she was a coach. Like
Yeah.
this woman helped build your team.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh. So then your mom pulls out pictures and she's like, yeah, this is like her skating.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I've got pictures up there of her
Yeah.
getting wiped out.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, okay. Like, so then they were trying to sign up people.
Okay.
And your mom went over there and wrote down. I was like, woman, you are not getting
Not
back in.
skating again,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
not skating again. Like, you can't remember what happened last Tuesday. You're not
Yeah.
getting another concussion.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. Like, I signed up. Like, if they need anyone teaching the tramps, like, I'll start coaching again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Like, I loved going out there hanging out with her when she was teaching all the kids
Yeah.
and all the the new people.
Yeah.
I was like, you ain't skating again.
Yeah.
Like, we're not
No,
doing this.
No, she's not doing that.
Yeah.
She can't handle it. Her noodle can't handle it.
No, she can't handle anyone.
she
hits.
likes to put it, her
She
noodle.
she can't handle a fall down a flight of stairs or
No.
like. She can't handle it like a hard pillow.
No.
Like I'm not like nope. You ain't like she can go skate trails. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
But you're not getting hit by some big broads again.
No.
So yeah. So for anyone who doesn't have any idea what the hell we're talking about, roller derby is a bunch of really badass broads beating each other up on roller
Senselessly,
skates.
It's very
And
cool.
my teeny tiny wife was a badass.
The movie Whiplash covers it. pretty
Yeah,
well.
Whiplash covers it very well. If you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. And
I can't remember the chick's name, but she's from Juno.
dude,
Sorry.
sorry,
Sorry.
I can't remember the young man's
The
name
young
who
man's name.
played her.
Sorry.
I couldn't help it. As soon as you said Whiplash, I was like, oh no.
Walking into it.
That guy played that young girl very well.
Yes, he did.
And my wife is her size.
Yes.
So, and she was a jammer, which is the point scorer.
Point
and
scorer.
she was
Yep.
very good at it,
Yes, she was.
unless she got hit.
She was very good at that.
She was a really good moving target.
She was a great target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she never got hit
Very
by anyone
consistently.
small.
No. Always the big ones.
Yeah. So I can't wait. At some point, hopefully tomorrow, she'll be sitting right here telling me stories about Derby days.
Yes.
But anyway, so we're hanging out talking to these Derby girls who clearly know nothing. Like they've signed up for something and clearly haven't done a bout.
Yeah.
And so we're pointing out the jerseys that are hanging on the wall that are all her former teammates. And so then we're like, okay, cool. We take off and we're walking. So we're walking down and we're talking, chit-chatting about stuff. And I'm again reminding her she's never freaking competing again.
Yeah.
And Nandor walks like right. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
Nandor.
And like I geeked out.
I would've
I was
geeked
like,
out.
holy shit, bro. And he was like, oh hey man, like, he lit up.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, what's up, dude? And so did this lady.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like, dude, that is genius.
Yeah.
You did such a good job with your outfit.
Yeah.
Like, you look fantastic.
He did look great.
And he was like,
did look
thanks,
great.
man. I really appreciate it. I was like, bro, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah.
And he was like, absolutely. So then he, like, strings out the ribbon.
Yeah.
And then I go stand next to him, take a picture. I was like, thanks, man. You guys are killing
Yeah,
it.
that was
Like,
great.
you look so
That was
amazing.
great.
His lady was clearly all beaming, too.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys crushed.
Yeah.
Like, and there were some good people, like,
Yeah. Good costumes.
like, I'm biased, obviously.
Great show.
Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
great
biased.
show.
But like there was these two black dudes. They were like, it's hard to tell, but probably mid to late 20s,
Okay.
dressed up like old people.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Really.
Yeah, like it was as good as Eddie Murphy in like the Clumps.
Okay.
Like the makeup, like the
Yeah.
latex that they
Yeah.
were using was amazing.
Wow.
Like movie level. Like
Deep fake.
these guys, if you
Yeah.
ever see this, you probably never will. If you do, you guys freaking crushed it. So they're walking by, and they're like got canes. He's wearing an old peaky cap, and his thick old glasses hanging on at the end of his nose, but again, all prosthetics.
Yeah.
And like his gray hair and his like grandpa clothes.
Yeah.
And I walk out and I'm like, huh. And I'm like, oh shit. Like that's a young person.
Yeah.
Like, and like walking slow with the can. I was like, you guys, I was like, holy crap. And then the grandma, he had the biggest fake ass under his like dress, like his like moo dress. And like the curlers in the hair
Nice.
and the glasses with the bead thing and the cane. And I died laughing. But we're standing in line to get like lemonade or something. And I start howling laughing. And I'm like, you guys are amazing. And he turns around. And he goes, oh, thanks, young man. And shakes my hand. And then the
Full character.
And then the grandma starts doing stuff. And I'm just dying. I was like, you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Like that. I was like, I hadn't seen Nandor yet. So I was like, you guys are the best thing here.
Yeah.
Like hands down best thing here. And outside of my personal bias, they were the best thing there.
Yeah.
And so they just like, oh, have a great day, young man. Stay out of trouble, and then they hobble off.
Yeah.
I ran into him again a few times, and everyone just keeps stopping him and taking pictures with him and of him. And then at a certain point, they're with a handful of like other people
Okay.
in like a group photo. Like someone was like, can I get a picture of all you guys? So they start picturing. And now the whole, like, there's a big group of people
Okay.
watching. So then they start dancing, but like modern dance. Like,
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
And so he starts twerking
The big
with
fake
the big
ass.
fake ass. And I mean like comically large.
Yeah.
And so just,
I can picture it.
dude, the imagery, man, it was so genius. I wish I had time to take out my phone and good video of that, because those guys were like, I hope they come back next year in exactly the same outfits.
Nice.
Because they're either best friends or brothers, and like they're their repertoire, their the way they handled each other was genius.
Nice.
But he's like, "Oh, you old goat, get out of here, let's get going." Like, just the crazy old grandpa like
Yeah.
arguments.
Yeah.
They were muttering that to each other while walking around.
That's amazing.
Just in character
the whole time.
all the way
That's
through.
Awesome.
Like,
I love when
crushed
people
it.
are dedicated to
Dude,
it.
they were so good. Like, I hope they're back. I hope they're locals so
Yeah.
that they're back next year.
Yeah.
Because that was genius.
Yeah.
Like there was a bunch of other really good
I
stuff
want to
too.
go next year with you guys. I like Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's the first time I've been in a few years.
I haven't been in a few years.
Well, what sucks
I went in
is
16 and 17.
I was there in, I think it was 16 was the last time I think I went. I didn't go in 17 because your mom had no interest in nerd stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, has she changed. But she like mocked me ruthlessly for
Yeah.
like my Harry Potter tattoo.
Yeah.
And she was like, Back to the Future sleeve. Like, I know my arm's kind of hidden, but I got a lot of tattoos. And she like mocked me ruthlessly.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Hey, freaking nerd, like geek, nerd." And I was like, but she kept calling me a geek, and I was like, "No, I'm a nerd."
Yeah.
She's like, "What's the difference?" I was like, "I'm a 240-pound nerd and beat the shit out of some geek." Like, she's like, "Fair enough." I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't get picked on. Nerds don't get picked on.
Yeah.
Geeks do."
Yeah.
So she finally started like coming around, but I couldn't get her to go. But then half the time, like it would fall on a weekend. We're already like doing something else. And for years it fell on bike rally, the Lone Star rally in Texas, which I always went to.
Okay.
So I'd go to Lone Star and be like, crap, Comic-Con. So like I'm a biker nerd. So it's like I'm out there hanging out with one percenters, wishing I was back in Tucson at night
Yeah.
for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And then I'd leave Texas, come back home, and Texas Dallas Con and there's another con in Texas would happen like right after Arizona.
Okay.
I'm like, damn it, like I'm missing everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like it was a great con. There were so many good people there. John Ratzenberger was there, but he was way too expensive to do anything with. I was like,
Really?
Plus we just got back from vacation, so I'm already broke.
Yeah.
So we didn't really buy like a lot. Like we bought all you guys, a couple things, but that was like I bought books. Back to what I was talking about earlier. So I bought a couple of books there from an author. There's a bunch of authors there. And somehow that led to, because I don't think the guy was here, but it led me down a path to find these other books, A Post-Apocalyptic Nomadic Warrior.
Okay.
And the whole thing doesn't take itself too serious, but the main character, that's his title, Post-Apocalyptic Nomadic Warrior. It comes up a lot. And there's other characters
Okay.
that also call themselves Post-Apocalyptic Nomadic Warriors. Like he studies Mad Max
Yeah.
and like A Boy and His Dog. Like he studies, he's got this Winnebago in the first book called The Silver Lining, because
Okay.
every mushroom cloud has a silver lining.
Okay.
And he's got it all kitted out with a TV, great surround sound, and all post-apocalyptic films.
Nice.
So he can study them and become the best post-apocalyptic nomadic warrior out there. And so he was a librarian. So he is referred to as the librarian.
Okay.
So, because that's his big thing. He's like, oh, post-apocalyptic nomadic warriors. I know I keep having to say it because it's compulsory. He goes, because the first guy goes, hey, what's your name? And he was like, whatever you want. He goes, what? He goes, well, post-apocalyptic nomadic warriors don't have names. We go into a town. Someone starts giving us like a nickname. We go by that until we leave, and then the next town. No one ever knows the real name.
New nickname.
And he's like, what? He goes, well, think about it. The man with no name. He didn't have a name. He's like, God, dude, I hate you so much. Get out of my town. So they wound up kicking him out of town.
Nice.
And then another warrior shows up and helps him, and he takes off and goes on an adventure and winds up coming back and saving the day, like a post-apocalyptic nomadic warrior does. But when he leaves, he gets into his Winnebago, and they talk about the Winnebago that he built and all the stuff that he's got kitted. So anyway, he was a librarian, and when everything happened, while these bombs fell, because it's not just like atomic bombs. At one point in the first book, they talk about like these bombs that made like plants and flowers and stuff grow to like insane. Like they're taking over towns.
Okay.
So like, I think it's downtown Dallas is like a jungle.
Okay.
Like the bombs fell on Valentine's Day,
Okay.
and so everyone had roses. Well, all these roses got hit by all these chemicals, and they turned into like the size of trees. So like
Wow.
a single rose is like the size of a tree. So this place is just overrun like a jungle.
With roses, yeah.
And that's where he happened to be. But he happened to be in their like their archives rooms, like they're just a giant storage room full of books that used to be a bomb shelter.
Okay.
And when the bombs fell, the bomb sensing locks all locked.
Okay.
And locked him in there for a year. So he was already a librarian, so he's already reading all the time, kind of a nerd.
Yeah.
Now he's locked into a place that's got food and
Yeah.
food and drink and
And
books.
Yeah.
So he just studied everything.
Okay.
So he's got like this mastercraft hardcore study 24/7 for a year, everything he could think of.
Okay.
So like he knows how to build wells and purify water, and he knows how to fight, and he knows like all these different crazy
Yeah.
fighting tactics and techniques, and he's a tactician. Like he becomes really well versed in everything you need to know for an apocalypse.
Yeah.
So he just goes around like every time something happens, he'll be like, "How the hell? What? How did you do that?" It's like, I know how to do things. So like he doesn't lose fights. And he's not like a big dude. Like he's not written to be like this big macho bastard.
Okay.
He's just kind of an average Joe.
Average guy. Yeah.
And everything he does like is successful. And it's all like, what? Like he's like, yeah, just things just work out for him. And it just keeps happening throughout the books. The books are so freaking good.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah. So it just, because we're talking about Mad Max, made me think of it. But anyway, so books. They had a ton of authors there with their books. So I bought a couple of different books. I haven't had a chance to read them yet because I got hooked on Post-Apocalyptic Nomadic Warrior.
Yeah.
But that whole series is funny, heartfelt. There's a few spots that are really sad. Like it's really well done.
Nice.
And I cannot wait for more books.
Very
I'm
cool.
really bummed. I'm the same way with TV shows. I try not to get into TV shows right away.
Yeah.
Because then you have to wait.
Yeah.
So you're in a good position, never having watched Game of Thrones. You can just go through and watch
the
all
whole
of them.
thing, yeah.
I didn't do that.
You had to wait.
I got in really early.
Yeah.
Before it took over the world.
Yeah.
Like I watched season 1 as soon as it came out, got hooked. I knew like 2 people. One of them was the one who loaned me her copy.
Yeah.
That had ever seen it. And then just started watching from season 2, episode to episode to episode till the end.
Yeah.
Like your mom didn't get into it until the last season.
Okay.
And then binge watched all of them and then caught up and watched the last season with me.
Okay.
I'm like, I had to wait.
Yeah.
You get to sit down and just
Binge
hours
it,
of
yeah.
watching. I had to wait. Like that sucked.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like I got into that. And I'm like, oh,
I
this
started that from the
sucks.
very beginning.
Yeah. Like, dude, I have to wait a year
Yeah.
to find out what happened.
Yeah.
Like, but I had the comics. So like I knew, but they diverged from the comics.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
Hmm.
So like
I read the comic books after I watched the show.
I've got the first. I had a bunch of the individual comics. I still have a couple of their very early ones, but I bought the first compendium,
Okay.
which is 50 comics. So it's the first 50 comics in one big book.
Okay.
And then people start like my dad gifted me volume 2 and I think 3
Okay.
for like Christmas or something. He knew I was a big fan, so he like got me and he saw that I had the compendium.
Yeah.
So I think he bought me the next couple, and then at a certain point, I kind of stopped it because it gets crazy.
Yeah.
They started introducing other like factions from the comics, but at a certain point, it got to the point where I was like,
Just so far separated.
yeah, like I didn't watch the last season. I watched, I think, the first 8 or 9 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay.
And I couldn't. Did you ever watch it?
No.
I couldn't stand the mom in it so
Okay.
much that I gave up.
Yeah, I didn't even.
And
I didn't even try it.
The main guy, that like, at least in the beginning, I don't know. The show has been going on now for like 8 years.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it's still on. I have no idea what the storyline is. But in the beginning, the main character, it seemed like he was trying to channel Johnny Depp.
Okay.
So he had a very like Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp kind of way he moved and the
Okay.
way he talked and acted. And I was like, okay, that's getting to be a bit much.
Mhm.
Like Johnny Depp does it too much. We
Yeah.
don't need two of you.
Yeah.
But the mom, she's like anti-gun teacher, hardcore leftist. Like it was like, and I kept trying, but it just got to the point where she was so annoying and so like controlling that I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I checked out. But there was one character, if I remember right, his name is Sterling, that the main kid meets in the first episode. In the first like 2 episodes, the story arc introducing this guy.
Okay.
I was like, he's gonna be the baddest character here. Like I love this character right away. Like he's quiet. You don't like he's very mysterious.
Okay.
And I've seen the dude. He's this black dude. He's been in other things. He's a great actor, but he's very mysterious and very like, you're only hanging out with me for now, and then we're done. Like leave me the hell alone. And he gets back to. So it turns out he's gay and gets back to his dude, and they're like very rich,
Mm-hmm.
and they got a boat and their plans to go out to the water. And I don't remember anything past that with a character.
Okay.
But he's a great character. But I think they got rid of him. Like I don't think he lasted.
Oh,
I could
okay.
be wrong because I stopped watching the damn show. But his character was awesome.
I haven't seen it in so long.
It's I don't know. I watched like 4 or 5 episodes. I don't know. They make it to Mexico and there's like the kids like envisioning zombies and stuff. I don't know. It was too weird. I couldn't get into it. I stopped watching it.
Okay.
And then I didn't watch the other spinoff.
The
And then-
Daryl Dixon one.
No, that's the newest one.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that either. But there was one, and there was another one. I think between that, it was like before The Walking Dead or something like that. It's about a
Oh,
bunch of like
okay.
youth people, like young
I don't
adults
even,
or
I don't even
whatever.
know what you're talking about.
I've never seen it.
Nuh-uh.
I'm aware of it very little. I have no idea who's in it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I just know it was another like spinoff.
Okay.
I was like, once Andrew Lincoln was gone, I was like, I don't know.
Not into it.
I kept watching it, but then I didn't watch that. I think it was the final season. I don't even know if the show's still on. I have no
think
idea.
It's still on.
But once all the Hush people showed up, I watched that season and then I was done. So I think it was like season 9. I think is when I
Okay.
stopped. But they were starting their big battle with all the people that act like zombies
Yeah.
and herd around, and they got their daughter,
Mm.
and then they get the daughter back, and I don't know, I just kind of stopped. I was like, I'm done. Like this
Yeah.
is too weird.
Got burnt out on it.
So many people are gone. Like they did the flash forward where Negan is their captive, and like half of the original cast is gone.
Yeah.
And I know that's like even in the books, all that stuff happens. Was like but you could have changed. You're already
It's
changing the
hard-
books.
Yeah, it's hard to.
If
it's
they
hard
could
to
have kept,
follow.
and then they were supposed to make movies,
Yeah, and they never did.
and they never did. They had a trilogy they were supposed to make with the original cast,
Yeah.
and they never did.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I'm kind of
Miss.
checking out.
It
Yeah,
was a miss.
big miss. And if they decided to air it today, like if they were like, hey,
I think it
we're
would
making
revamp
this
the
movie.
series.
Oh man, people would go nuts.
Yeah.
I would go watch them in theaters.
Yeah.
And that's rare. Like I don't go to theaters anymore. Like it's annoying. It's a
You went
hassle.
for-
It's expensive.
Deadpool Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
That was your last one. I still
Yep.
want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's good.
I've been avoiding clips on the internet because it's hard to do right now.
Avoid it.
It's hard to do.
Avoid it.
It's really hard.
It's
I've
good.
seen like the nice pool stuff that comes up, which seems like a great character that I want to see.
It's funny.
Um,
There's a few things that
I've heard
think
from a few people, including you, that said that this has been the best one. Out
It
of
is.
the 3.
it's the best of the 3. Like each one had things like it's still a Deadpool movie, so the overall storyline is very weak and flimsy.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So it's like a very loose
I
premise.
barely picked that up. By the way.
Okay, good. So it's like a very loose premise that you could just poke holes through. That
Yeah.
like you can drive a truck through all
I
day
wouldn't
long.
doubt it. Yeah.
But it's so good. Like it's nostalgia bait, and
Yeah.
they know it.
Yeah.
Like they know that it's like
That's what I've heard.
it's nostalgia bait. It's Deadpool fan bait. Like,
Okay.
hey, guess what? You love this about Deadpool? Here.
Here.
And so it's fan service in that regard.
Okay.
Like it really is. They don't Like they make fun of some things that I love that they made fun of. But yeah, it is the best. Like the bad guy in the second one sucked so bad. Pyro, like it was so stupid. Like no one cares
Pyro and Juggernaut.
about like Juggernaut was bitch.
Juggernaut was cool.
Like
they did his character really well.
Yeah, my only, and this is just me, and I'm not saying I'm right, but Colossus and Juggernaut, I don't care much for the way they did them. In the fact, like they look great, they work great, all that. Like I know everyone loves them. I'm probably gonna get roasted for this, but Juggernaut wasn't physically that big.
No.
So it's like insane.
Yeah.
I wish they would have made him
regular size.
Yeah, or half the size he is.
Yeah.
He'd still be a big human, but I mean,
he wasn't
the shirt I'm wearing,
yeah.
I've met big humans.
Yeah,
he could be 7 foot tall, but
yeah.
he was like 12 foot tall, 13
yeah.
feet tall. Yeah, I couldn't remember the specs.
I read the specs
and then he's
recently.
like,
yeah.
And then how heavy is he? Like 800 pounds,
something like that. Yeah,
like no man, like he was a big person, but he wasn't that damn big. And then Colossus doesn't grow. He just armors.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
But he armors.
But he just armors. Yeah. Like he's a construction worker. He's a big dude. Swings a hammer all day long.
Yeah.
Like he's a big guy. But again, I think he was only like 6'6", 350 pounds.
Yeah.
Not 7'5".
Yeah.
600 pounds. Like it just, and I wish they wouldn't have done all CGI.
Yeah.
Like I wish they would have actually. There's one cool thing about one of the terrible Fox X-Men movies is they actually show him scale up.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's badass. And then they don't do it again, and they don't bring him back. And I'm like, dude, that was one of the best things you've ever done.
Yeah. Was
have him
scale up
and fight off all those dudes. It's like, all right, that's kind of a bummer. Like that's just a personal one, right? Yeah, it's just a personal thing for me. Like and that dude was big, but he was a football player.
Yeah,
like from a family of football players. He's a big dude.
Yeah, genetically.
Yeah, but he was also young, and it was really cool to see him at like 18.
Yeah,
and like look official.
Yeah,
I think that they went a little over the top with the Deadpool side of it. And like the storyline, fine, like cool. The bad guys, how he got his his backstory, like all of that. I liked all of that, but Colossus kind of sucked.
Yeah,
and then Juggernaut kind of sucked. Like he was awesome looking.
Yeah,
he had a cool attitude.
Yeah, he did.
But they like the helmet thing. It's so goofy. Like he's Professor X's half brother.
Yeah,
like that's come on, like. He's not a superhuman size, like this insane size person. His helmet was there to protect his head, but it was also to protect his head from his brother from being able to scan him.
Yeah.
Just like Magneto.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. There's certain things I can pick holes in. And the bad guy in the second one is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
In my eyes. Like, you had
anybody
way better bad guys in the first one.
Yeah.
And they weren't even like
Francis.
High end. Yeah. It's just a person.
Yeah.
But I feel nothing.
Superhuman.
Yeah, I feel nothing. It's like, wow, that's interesting. But it was well done. But the third one...
as soon as the third one comes out on any sort of like streaming platform, we got to rewatch it again.
It's still in theaters.
I know.
It's so nuts.
I don't want to go to the theater to see it.
It was... I'm glad I did just so I could see it so early, even though I wasn't planning on it.
Yeah, it worked out for your birthday, though.
It did. But because I was on call, I couldn't go doing like your mom had to plan for me to go to Del Bach, do like a whole tour of their distillery and get some good
Tequilas.
whiskey.
Oh, whiskeys.
Yeah, they do tequila and whiskey.
Okay.
So that was the plan, but I was like, I can't drink.
Yeah.
She was like, hey, do you want to know what I got planned? Yeah. And I was like, kind of, because like if it's going out of town, well, I can't. Like,
yeah. So
she was like, hey, this is what I wanted to do. I'm like, well, sorry, honey. Like, it's a great idea, but I can't. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, hey, how about this instead? Like, I don't want to just sit around at home. Let's go watch a movie. And she's like, okay. So it was good. I enjoyed it. Like, there's some flaws, but they're personal. Like, I happen to be one of those people who know more about these characters in comics
Yeah.
than like just a lay person. So some of these things bother me differently or more than
Yeah.
other people. Like why The Last Man? You watched that with us when it came out. Like god awful. That's not what the comic was like. Men weren't evil and
Wait, what movie are we talking about?
why The Last Man? It was a TV show like a year and a half ago. It got canceled quick.
Did I miss it?
No, you watched it here with us.
Did I?
Yeah. It was a guy and his monkey where the last something happened and they all died. And he was literally the last man on earth.
Okay.
And like his mom was president. And
I don't know why this is not ringing a bell.
yeah, it's because it was terrible.
Really?
And I bitched about it the whole time we were watching it.
That's not ringing a bell
Yeah,
at all. I'm trying to dig
I
deep.
tried so hard to stay quiet every episode and not complain about all of the anti-man stuff that was happening in
okay.
it. And I'm like, yeah, there was a woman who took over like a Costco or a Sam's Club
Okay.
and like had all these other women there also. So it was like this band of like 30 or 40 women, and one of the main chicks, I think it's Y's sister, if I remember right, it's been a little while, was a paramedic, and she accidentally kills her dude like
Okay.
the night that whatever happens that kills off all men happens.
Yeah.
So she just goes on the run or whatever, but she just takes off and she winds up running into all these people at this Sam's Club or Costco
Okay.
or whatever. And she starts living there, and it's like this crazy tribe of empowered women, and it's this one woman running everything, and she's kind of a nut job.
Okay.
And they wind up, if I remember right, they wind up getting attacked eventually by another like roving band of bandits, and a lot of them get murdered and stuff. But she was like, they give the backstory of the woman who's running everything. She's
Okay.
a lunatic, like. But there was just a lot of anti-man stuff, and then there was a lot of tea people who inject testosterone to become men, and like they hate men but want to be men.
Starting to
And they were like,
bring up
one of them
memories of it.
is like being too friendly with another one because he's always been in love with her, and all of his friends take off with all the testosterone.
Okay.
She's like, they got all the testosterone. I can't get any shots. And all this. It was goofy.
Too strange.
Yeah, I didn't care for it at all. I don't remember all the details.
It's based off a comic book?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the comic book was better than that.
Okay.
Like the comic book I ran for a very long time. Like it
Okay.
actually had a following. But it wasn't about men being the worst and
Yeah.
men starting all wars, and women are going to start wars. Meanwhile, they're like
Killing
women
each
are
other
all that's
off.
left,
Yeah.
and they're like roaming around. They can't live together in peace.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I guess like, yeah, there are men that suck, but there are people of all kinds who suck. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like a very big attack on men.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I would also not watch a show that said women suck.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, let's not continue to just bring
Yeah,
up
it's
hate.
not.
It's
yeah,
stupid.
Yeah. It's just hate mongering.
Yeah. Like, and your mom was like, that show sucked. But it got canceled. I think half the episodes it aired,
Really?
and it got canceled because it got that much hate.
Wow.
But she was like, I want to finish watching it. And I was like, fine, I'll finish watching it with you. Like, how many more episodes we got? Oh, okay, I can finish this. Like, and I just sat there just steaming.
Just gritting your teeth.
Yeah, I just white knuckling it through the show. I was like, fine, you watch a lot of things I want to watch. I'll watch this. She didn't like it. By the time it was over, she was like, well, that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Like, there were parts that were good. Like, which is why, like, I mean, I've got, like, faint memories of it. But, like, the Costco stuff was all pretty good. And I was like, this woman's nuts. Like, we're going to get backstory. She's nuts. And then we got backstory that she was nuts. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I was right.
Yeah.
So 5. Yeah, like what we you should have stayed out there and watched Sympathy for the Devil, that Nick Cage film we were just watching.
I saw little bits of it.
I saw trailers for it back when it was.
Is that like an Uber driver? Is that what he is?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, dude just gets in the car with him.
Oh, okay.
He pulls up to the hospital because his wife's about to give birth, Yeah, like she's in labor.
I like that actor, the guy that was driving. I've seen him in a few things.
Yeah, he was Flag in Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
who they never should have killed off because he
Yeah.
was the best part of those movies. Yeah, he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
Watching those two, there's a diner scene that they're sitting down talking, and dude, Nick Cage is such a good actor. Like, I know people love to just think he's the crazy person who just does the crazy sounds and the crazy faces and all that. Dude's got chops.
Really?
Like, yeah, he played that character so well.
I've always been so with him.
Oh, I love that dude. Like, fair enough. I know other
Con Air, I
people
love.
Everyone loves Con Air.
It's a great movie.
When he's all jacked.
Long hair.
Yeah, Con Air is amazing.
It's a great film.
It's one of the biggest reasons I'm a fan. But I love all of his stuff. There's one movie.
Did you like Ghost Riders?
I love the first one.
Okay.
And I'm one of the few people on the planet that love the first one way more than the second one.
Okay.
I
like the first one more than the second one.
Okay. Fascinating. I was not expecting that.
I like the first one more than the second one.
Because every the
second one I thought he went too over the top.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Every comic book person I know though says the exact opposite.
Really?
That they love. My biggest problem isn't even that he went over the top. I mean, yes, that's a problem. I agree wholeheartedly. Like when they zoom in and
he's going too crazy. Yeah.
My problem is you don't really see him as Ghost Rider.
Yeah, not as
when
much.
he's Ghost Rider, it's these weird flash clips.
Yeah.
Like it's artistic.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Like it. So my other problem with that is right after that, he came out with Drive Angry. Did you watch Drive Angry?
No.
It's basically what Ghost Rider should have been.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
he escapes from hell.
Okay.
To save his daughter.
Okay.
From a cult. Okay. And there's like demons chasing him and like hell is coming for him. And if I remember right, I think so it's Drive Angry, Drive like Hell's Chasing You or something like that. I have it. It's fun.
I'll watch it.
It's a good movie. The creepy dude who plays the demon cop chasing him is so good in it.
I love him
too.
in National Treasure. Sorry, it just popped into my head.
Yeah, dude, those movies are.
So
I love
good.
those movies.
Same.
I love those movies.
I know it's like such like a.
There's a third one coming out.
Oh really?
He's gonna be There's
Is
a
he
third
gonna be
one.
In it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I think it's supposed to be like the next year or
guilty pleasure,
after.
dude. Guilty pleasure.
Not even guilty. I don't feel guilty about it at all.
I
love those movies.
I've seen them so many times.
The premise, I grant you, is insane.
Since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be able to like find like a treasure map.
Me too.
On, like the back of a document because
me
of that
too.
Film. Yeah.
Me too. I had a replica of the Declaration. And I was like, we're going on an adventure. Like, yeah, dude, I'm all about those movies.
Yeah, super good. Those are Disney, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he crushed in that.
Disney was
and he doesn't. And it's movies where he's acting straight. Yeah. Like he doesn't do any of the crazy Nick Cage stuff.
Yeah, he's very straight character in it.
Like the second one, he's talking to the president.
And that's the thing that got me too is like the first one's so good, and the second one delivers 100%. Like the second one is just as good
it carries just as well.
Yeah.
He's like, we have to kidnap the president.
Yeah, so good.
Like I love those. I don't feel guilty at all. I never make me feel bad about it.
Back when Disney was so making good films.
Yeah, I was near the end of them making good films.
Did you watch the Boba Fett series that Jon Favreau wrote? It was actually pretty good.
Nope.
I know you're not on Disney's side, but the Boba Fett series was pretty good.
My problem with that is Boba Fett has always been my favorite character.
Me too.
You're never supposed to see his face.
I agree, but I think the only reason why they did it so often is because the actual actor that played the original Boba Fett played Boba Fett. So I think that's why they did it so much.
It's still a character.
I know.
Dude, it's my problem with that. It stems.
He takes
his
helmet off so often.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's like the whole series. He's got his helmet off. Yeah. It's nuts.
So it stems,
and he's holding it like the whole time.
Yeah, dude. They should have left him in the Snarlack pit. That's all I'm saying.
He did break it. But
let the hero die.
A great thing that I saw in a YouTube short was did you watch Parks and Rec?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the courtroom scene where
the brother and the sister?
I can't think of the guy's name, but he's describing Boba Fett coming out of the Sarlacc pit and he like punches through with one hand.
Vaguely.
He's describing it, but Jon Favreau actually wrote that into the series. So like his whole description when they're in the courtroom is from Parks and Rec. It's the whole intro is him coming out. And I was like, that was so great.
Is it the one where the brother and the sister are in court? The crazy rich brother and sister?
It might be.
It's been a while since I've watched the show. I mean, I watched the whole thing. I loved it.
Yeah,
but
I watched it with my mom. I got her into it.
Aziz's friends.
Aziz Ansari is so great.
But his friends, the brother and sister,
yeah,
that are lunatics.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
because I think
names.
they go to court.
Yeah,
I know it's been a while. I used to remember all this stuff.
Yeah,
I've watched so much stuff since then.
I know. That's the one thing about being like a.
Yeah, what the hell was the name of Aziz's store?
Tom's Bistro.
No, the second when he starts the clothing, when he's selling the secondhand clothing.
Oh yeah,
swag, something swag.
Rent a swag.
Rent a swag.
Rent a swag.
He's got all those nice clothes and no money.
Yeah.
So like, well, you could rent out your nice clothes.
To tweens, teens, and everything in betweens.
Rent a swag.
Rent a swag. And then they do. Not Prestige Worldwide. That's Entertainment 720 or something like that. When they make and they just make a bunch of like swag for it, but they don't have an actual company.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that show was so good.
I love Parks and Rec.
So freaking
Ron
good.
Swanson is my spirit animal.
Oh, dude, Ron's the king.
Yeah,
Ron is the king.
You know, he owns like an actual like woodworking.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
he's very.
Oh, he's very talented.
Very involved. Yeah.
What's funny is his character is not that far removed from who he is as a person.
Yeah.
Like he has a sense of humor.
Very manly man.
But he has a sense of humor. That's the big difference.
Yeah.
Because he's a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
But
his wife's amazing too.
Oh yeah, she's so rad.
She's super funny.
But yeah, like he does the woodworking. He builds boats.
He builds boats.
He does actually.
He's into whiskey.
He does actually.
Steaks,
yep.
Yeah.
He's into all of that.
All
the
that
only
stuff.
difference
Into
is he doesn't have that dry lack of sense of humor.
Yeah, he's got a really good.
He's got a really good sense of humor.
And one of the best laughs of anybody. I've
dude,
ever
he's
seen
one of the best mustaches. Yeah. One of my favorite things he ever did. I mean, obviously Parks and Rec, like it's the king. Parks and Rec he's the best. But my equally great is We're the Millers.
Yes. Oh, that.
I guess we're swingers now.
Yeah, I guess we're swingers now.
I do that to Nick all the time, and I do that to your mom. I just sit there and I go, I guess we're swingers now. She's like, get the hell out of my.
His character in that is so good,
and
he plays such a pivotal role in that movie too.
Yeah.
He's great in 21 Jump Street too.
Yeah,
he's very short role. But
yeah, I didn't care much for those movies.
Really?
Yeah,
I like Jonah Hill a lot.
I'm hit or miss.
Really?
Yeah, like it. I don't know. I think too many. I think he got put in so many things. Like I loved him in Accepted.
Accepted is great.
Ask me about my wiener.
We were just talking about Accepted the other day.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Ask me about my wiener.
Great movie.
But I don't know. I think it's more of. I don't think it has. It may not just be him. It's more of taking things that I grew up. I mean, again, I have all of 21 Jump Street in there.
See, I never watched it.
I grew up on that.
I never watched it.
Hold on, I'm gonna do the AC. Needs to come on real quick.
Okay.
I'm starting to get warm.
I'm heating up in my shark outfit.
All right.
It's like my
temp down a bit.
It's like my security blanket though. It feels nice.
So, like shows that I grew up on, that I grew up loving, there was this knack for making reboot movies that destroyed the original.
Okay.
That weren't like in the same vein. They weren't made out of the same care and love. They didn't get the characters right. They just tried to go over the top, jackass kind of funny, which is why I can't stand Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay.
Like those characters are so much more than that.
Yeah.
And clearly the people who made that movie never watched the show.
Okay.
They just were like, oh yeah, pretty girl, booty shorts.
Yeah.
Badass car, hood sliding. These were our names.
Yeah.
Go.
Car chases.
Like Willie Nelson as Uncle Jesse was so wrong, it's unreal.
Uh-huh.
Like that is basically the exact opposite of that
Uncle
character.
Jesse. Okay.
Like he's a wholesome family man. Like doesn't really drink anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't do like he's a Christian man.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson, smoking pot and drinking and making all these jokes and talking nasty and stuff. So wrong. I love Burt Reynolds. He sucked his boss hog. Like, I have a fundamental problem with everything about that movie.
Okay.
Same thing with Starsky and Hutch. Like, I didn't watch that show growing up.
Yeah.
I watched it later in life.
I realized recently that I really like Owen Wilson as an actor.
I love Owen Wilson as an
I don't know
actor.
why I never really noticed him.
He sucked in Starsky and Hutch, though.
Really?
But he crushed in Night at the Museum.
Yes, he did.
And Drillbit Taylor.
Drillbit
and
Taylor's
like
really
all
good.
these other movies
Drillbit
that he
Taylor's
did.
a great film.
I love Drillbit Taylor.
It's a good one.
Like, the premise is so hilarious. Like, we're gonna hire like a bully.
Yeah.
A homeless bully.
A homeless bully.
I haven't watched it in a while, but I did watch it a lot when it came out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so we're just gonna hire this guy, war vet person, to teach us how to fight and beat up our bullies.
It's a great movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I don't know. It happened to me actually because the last few days I've been watching all the Night of the Museums, and
dude, he's
I was
so
like,
good
oh,
as the
Wilson's so
cowboy.
good. He's so good as the cowboy. And I saw him in something else recently too. I can't remember what it was. Oh, The Internship.
Oh, that movie's fun.
Super fun.
But I like Josh Gad.
Okay.
Like, I'm a fan of Josh Gad.
Gotcha.
And then so when he takes off earmuffs, or the headphones.
Yeah.
So when he takes off headphones, it turns out he's the big dog. You're just like, that's cool, man.
Yeah, Josh Gad's really funny.
Let's see. Night at the Museum, because we were talking about this earlier.
Yes.
I've got to remember the Roman's name.
Oh, yeah.
It was driving me nuts earlier when we were talking about him because he's a great actor. Steve Coogan. Why did I forget his freaking name? Like, I remembered so much of his work, but I couldn't remember his freaking name. Yeah, because he was even in Tropic Thunder.
He was in Tropic Thunder.
Like,
he was the director.
Yeah. But let's see.
It's just warm, salty corn syrup. Such a great line. Ben Stiller's so good in that film. Everybody's so good in that film. Jay Baruchel.
It was in
Jack
the other
Black.
guys.
Yeah, he was Kershaw.
Yep.
And the other guys. I watched that recently too.
It's,
I've been on a big
Ideal Home. And it was Paul Rudd. The movie I was talking about earlier.
Paul Rudd.
Where they're the gay couple.
Okay.
They're like making all that money and stuff, and they got this kid all of a sudden. Yeah, Ideal Home. Yeah, here. Pod and Erasmus are a bickering couple with an extravagant life. When Bill, the grandson Erasmus never knew he had, shows up at their dinner party with nowhere else to go, the couple reluctantly decide to take him in. Despite the difficulties of incorporating a child into their lives, Bill grows on them. But when Bill's father is released from prison and comes to take back his son, the men realize they don't fight. You don't fight with your family; you fight for them. But yeah, dude, Steve Coogan and Paul Rudd as a gay couple.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Who are like a power couple, dude.
I'll
It's so funny.
I'll have to check that out.
It is one of the funniest like random movies that I've watched, like just out of nowhere. Like, when did this come out? 2018, and that's around the time that I watched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Steve Coogan, I love this guy. And I feel bad that I couldn't remember his name just now. But I was like,
it's okay.
But remember earlier, I was like, yeah, that had Paul Rudd in it.
Yeah.
Dude, Paul Rudd is a gay guy. Dude, it's so funny.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, dude, the movie's hilarious.
Paul Rudd's a great actor.
Oh, he's a genius. One that I've got to have you watch if you like The Roman. So
Okay.
Coogan, Saxondale. It's a TV show he did that he only did in Britain. So, comedy series about Tom Saxondale, an ex-roadie who settled in suburbia. It's like, here's even a cover of it.
Is it on BritBox?
Yeah,
Saxondale.
yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Do you have BritBox?
No, but you do.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, dude, Saxondale is so funny. But I watch it because I've got
Yeah.
I found BritBox because I love watching British television.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to find over
that
here.
that murder mystery show that you guys were watching. I watched a bunch of it with you guys.
Poirot?
It was like
the Fancy Man?
They were like puns. Like all the names of the movies were like murder puns. There was like three movies.
Oh, the one with the detectives?
Yeah.
That was dang it, I can see the cover of it. Yeah,
There was like 3 films or something like that.
The one with the bus driver.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Where they had the RV.
Yeah,
or the
that's
bus, right? It was a bus.
Yeah, that's with Johnny Vegas.
And the husband and wife.
Yeah, that was like Dial M for
Murder.
But it wasn't Dial M for Murder. It was because that's the original book. It's
Yeah.
Dial M for Murder from Agatha Christie, and it's like Dial M for Murberry or something like that. Like it was like
something like that.
Yeah, that's Johnny Vegas. Yeah, the three. Yeah, there was three of them.
Those were really fun.
Those were hilarious.
Those were really good.
Yeah, dude, Johnny Vegas is so good.
I felt bad that our time's already wrapping up.
Death on the Tyne was one of them. That was the third one on the boat. Dial M for Middlesbrough. Yeah, Dial M for Middlesbrough. That's so good.
That was a Bird Box.
And then Murder on the Blackpool Express.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah, those three movies were so good. But I love Johnny Vegas.
He's a comedian, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay.
And an actor, and he is so good.
Okay.
I actually found him originally. I found out who he was and started following him many years ago because he was a guest on Top Gear.
Okay.
And Clarkson was just going on about how funny he is and all his work, and he's a big fan. And I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And he was funny on his bit on Top Gear. I was like, "I gotta find this guy." So I started finding his stuff and started watching it. And I was like, "Dude, this guy's hilarious."
Yeah.
So then when that series came out, where they're spoofing Agatha Christie stories, I was like, "This is genius."
Yeah.
A bus driver, like. Oh, people getting murdered on this. Like, dude, he's so funny.
They were great.
I'm glad you remembered those.
Yeah,
I'd forgot about those.
Those were really fun.
Those were hilarious.
I enjoyed those a lot.
Yeah, we could stop this one and keep a third one going.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
If I gotta reset.
I'm having fun talking movies.
Yeah, I knew we would. All right.
I'm gonna grab another water.
Yep. So we're gonna stop part 2 right here. We'll pick up here in just a few minutes.
Thank you.